Good morning, traders. Welcome to the All Markets Bookmap webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We're going to be going through the live order flow within Bookmap and understand the auction process and behavior of the participants in the auction. The whole goal here with the order flow is to do it in real time. We'll also look for opportunities and take them. We will do some trading if we see some sort of opportunity. It is in live demo paper trading mode. Okay, so it is not a trade recommendation. So just you know exactly what you're getting into. And the reason that we're doing that is not only to be able to read the order flow and look for an edge, but is to also go over how to manage the trade. Trade management and criteria for your trade management is extremely important. All right. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Now, this is the All Markets webinar. We will go through whatever we can connect to. Just let us know in here, and we're happy to go through it. Yesterday, we went through GameStop and SPY, etc. Typically, we go over the S&P E-mini futures product because that's what most traders want to look at. Anyway, we'll start off there. And we're going to start with our top-down approach, though. We can read the current order flow right now and just give a little bit of insight. Looks like we have a little bit of momentum to the upside here after the PPI data here. Okay, so you can see the an important one, the Purchasing Managers Producers Index, and you can see a straight drop down, and due to a good number. Okay, why a good number? Well, or why the drop after a good number? Everything is focused and very sensitive on interest rates, inflation. A good number means that we have producers that are purchasing, and the producers price index that they're showing that it's a good economy. That means that what the Fed is looking at this information, and they're going to make interest rate decisions based upon it. Likely, they will keep interest rates higher for longer, and the market tells us that immediately. Interestingly enough, though, after a really steep drop here, you can see down to like a 40-point move or so. I don't know, 35 point move or something like this. Anyway, we see that we're right back up here, okay, right where that move took place here, and we're testing it. Okay, buyers are testing it. We see a lot of buyers coming in. Okay, so we're looking at the buyers here. A lot of buyers above the swing here, but not able to sustain it. Now, in fact, I even took a position here not too long ago and exited at break even. Just did not see what I wanted to see in here, but this looks like it wants to break out. Okay, this is the pattern. We're seeing more buyers at a higher high. We're getting a pullback here, and we're just looking for those buyers to lift it up into high liquidity up in these areas here, 53, 50, 55, 56, 60. Up in these areas, but we didn't. We're kind of going back and forth in here. So that's the current read, and you can see it is revolving around the PPI data release here. Let me see if there's any questions over here. So You know what? I'm sorry. I don't think I can connect to crypto at the moment. I'm using a newer version of Bookmap. Um, and yeah, I do not think it is going to be possible. Let me see. Let me see though. Oh, hold on. Be able to use this. Yeah, yeah, we can look at Bitcoin. You want to look at gold as well? Okay. And you're talking about gold futures, right? I don't know what's the current contract in gold. You can look it up quickly. Okay, it looks like the M contract. GCG. Okay, why is it? Why did it do that? All right, hold on just a moment here. Sorry about that, guys. We'll get going here. Okay. The New York session starts very slowly. What is that saying for us? Well, we just covered a little bit of that last say about uh, the PPI data, which you can see right here. And you know, we are getting our breakout. We were kind of looking for this. I was looking for it here earlier and gave up on it. And we're getting the follow through now. But let's take a look at our bigger picture and go through our process in here. All right. So our process is to, and we will look at gold. We'll look at Bitcoin. Let's just go through our top-down approach here. Fundamentals, economic calendar, geopolitical environment. So yeah, we just went through all of that. PPI. Now, again, regarding economic calendar, tomorrow we have a really big day with CPI. So we also have right now Powell speaking. Well, you know, we have the chairman speaking right now. The market is going to react to what he says. And we're going to see some volatility in here. That is one of the most difficult economic events to cover. It's just like during the FOMC when they have the press conference. Okay? We don't know what the Fed is going to say. And due to that, we get you know, lots of big swings. So we need to be attentive of that. And if we don't feel comfortable about trading in that environment, then don't. Okay, it's all about edge. Okay, that's why we're going through this fundamental big picture. If there's no edge, well, then why would you want to trade? Okay, so we really need to see something. I don't know if you're going to be listening to the to Powell speaking. Well, if so, then that might give you an edge, right? We are not in here, but anyway, we're going to read the reaction to other traders in the order flow. And we can do that because we have all the information here in front of us in the order flow. We have the order book, the transactions, and the relationship between that and the price structure. So, for example, here, price structure is this. Buyers are the green dots, sellers are the red dots. Buyers are breaking out above the structure. So price is exploring outside of a volume area here or a range. Okay, look at our profile in here. So it is exploring higher. So that is the condition right now. And the traders are telling us this. Okay, and we see big buy dots up here, green dots. Okay, if that is the case, then we should trade into this high liquidity here because buyers will meet sellers here. All right, so that's what we're looking for right now. You could look for, a small scalp into that. I'm going to hold off right now so that we're going to go through our bigger picture, but that's kind of what we're looking for because the buyers are telling us here. There's more buying pressure. We're looking for them to trade into this high liquidity. Okay, and that's where the transactions will be met in the bigger picture here. This is where Bookmap can be really helpful for you to understand that. All right, so anyway, that's what we see at the moment. Now let's go over the technicals, bigger picture. So we've already kind of covered it for the day of what's going on here. And we also have the context of the fundamentals. But let's look at our daily candlestick chart, our hourly, and our 15-minute chart here. Okay, so what do we see? Well, yesterday we ended up having a green day, but it was an inside day here. All of yesterday's price action was within Friday's action. Here today, you can see this this drop down below yesterday's action, but we're right back up above. And it's a green day, right? So now that's really curious. So the market reacted to that that data, the PPI, that was the spike lower, and we're right back up. Okay, so now if there are more buyers in here, well, we'd look for a retest back up to here, which would be 52.62. Now let's look at the hourly chart in here, and nothing new. Same ideas in here. We're looking for the buyers to reach back up into previous swings on the upside here. Now the 15-minute chart though is telling us something a little different. Okay, here's a previous swing in here. This is what we were looking at yesterday. We were looking for a gap fill, and we did get that gap fill, and we were actually looking for that move into the lower area here. So anyway, we're up to this swing here, and I would look for some sellers to engage up here, also some profit takers. Anyone that bought in here would probably take some off up in here someplace. Okay, so we're going to look for maybe a slowdown in this green candle currently at the moment. Maybe it turns into a big wick. Maybe we just kind of go sideways in here for a little bit and then maybe inch back up into the swing highs. Okay, so let's go back and take a look at Bookmap. So now we've looked at our bigger picture. We've looked at our profile. We looked at the inside day, outside day, the daily, the hourly, etc. Now we're getting our answer here. So we got buyers to come up and to test this area up here, and now we're seeing sellers. Okay, that's no surprise to us, right? No surprise. Just because of this here, what we just talked about. Here's our big wick. Right, so now we missed the move on that, but do we really see some sort of like a higher probable setup in here that would help on that one? Not really. I mean, we just have the move into that high liquidity here, and that's about it. And we just see the aggressors come in here. Okay, so I mean, maybe you could look at something like this in here, but you don't have a lot of pieces to the puzzle. If you were selling here, it could very easily come back up. Okay? So anyway, we do have exhaustion here. So look at the dots and look at this little range in here. For those of you new to Bookmap coming in, it's really important to understand this context in here. This is very different than looking at, like, for example, lines on a chart or sub chart, like cumulative volume delta or moving averages. They're very blunt instruments, and they can be good guides or good confluences, but it is the process in here that we want to understand. So let me go through the example. Okay, so we see the buyers trade up into this high liquidity. We were looking for that. And then we're looking on our higher time frame. Well, we would start to anticipate some sellers. Okay, well, in this little range in here, we don't get a whole lot of insight, but it's worth going over this. Look at the buyers and sellers in this little range in here. Okay, see the sellers come in here and move the market down to the bottom of this range here. And then all of this back and forth in here, do we find buyers interested up in this higher level up in here? No, we do not. Do we find sellers in at the lower levels in here? Yes, we do. Okay, let's cover a really important term that will serve you extremely well for the rest of your trading career, and that is exhaustion. The lack of aggressive buying and selling, a market buyer and seller orders. Look at this up here. This red line, this is just the best offer. The green line is the best bid. There are no transactions up here, not one. Okay, the best offer went up here, but no one bought. Okay, so there is no market up here. It exhausted out. When you start to piece these things together with the structure at the top of a range, exhaustion, and then you start to see more sellers come in near the bottom of the range in here. Another example of exhaustion up in here, there's no buyers. And this is a lower high. And on a lower low or equal low here, we see more sellers. So there's our context and understanding. It's a very simple thing, and it's very visual. You do not need an indicator to understand that. You can understand in the auction process here that there are no buyers up here. There are sellers here. Well, they're the ones that take it down then. Okay? Now, that's all good and well. It's just context of the aggressors, though, and this is the volume that moves the market. Okay, the aggressors take all the liquidity at one price level, and they can move it to the next price level. Now, these are just two elements on the Bookmap chart. Okay, our price structure created by best bid and offer, and the volume. Now we're going to add the third element on here, which is the heat map. Now we're looking at where the buyers and sellers are in the auction, in the order flow. This is where we see buyers on the bid here. This heat map is showing us limit buy orders. On the above price, these are limit sell orders up here. Okay, so we see a little bit of selling pressure comes in on the offer up in here. So we do have a little bit of confluence. Now this happened pretty quickly, and it's not really the best example, but just stick with me on this, because this really is the essence of what we're looking for. It's just not, sometimes it hits us over the head, and it's very easy to react to. Other times it can be a little more challenging, but it's this context that we want to understand. We have sellers here, and we have high liquidity here. Now, it would be really great if we saw this high liquidity here pull away from the market. We see that sellers just trade into it and through it here. Now look at on the other side, though, on the offer, high liquidity here, here, and down here, and we're still finding sellers, and now they are pulling on the bid. This liquidity, these limit buy orders were pulled. This was pulled. See how the heat map here, the scale is red and orange, very high liquidity, then yellow, white, blue, and then black is the least amount. So they're pulling it. They pulled it down here as well. That opens the door for sellers to take it down further. Okay, and that's what they've done. All right, now we haven't gone to current price, so let's take a look now. That's how you can start to put these pieces together. And like I said, I think you'll find exhaustion be one of your most helpful tools, and it's very easy to read. Alan, you want to look at AMC? All right. Uh, oh God, what was the guy's name? The something Kitty. He just amazing influence on the market in Reddit. It boggles my mind how like this kind of young kid who was the one that really got Roaring Kitty, yeah, really got things going inside GameStop, and I mean it's just amazing. But anyway, it's a phenomena, and it's a story in itself. I mean that's like a book or a documentary right there. Anyway, um, and you know, yeah, the absorption tool, Mike, do I use it? Not too much, but I will show it. I think maybe it was you, or it was maybe someone else yesterday going over. We did go over it yesterday, but let's just kind of continue on this exhaustion theme in here. This is actually kind of interesting one here. We see kind of a lack of sellers, and then really here's a lack of sellers here. Okay, we do find buyers come in here. So I would look for buyers to come up and test up here. Okay, we did get that test, but then we exhaust again here on the buy side, here again, and then this is kind of no man's land in here. We don't see much of anything. We just know that we're trickling down, and then we see our sellers. Now these sellers are going to move the market away from this area up in here. Okay, so we'll go through and we'll look for opportunities to jump into some of these areas where we see exhaustion as well. Okay, because it's a really like I said, you get good at reading exhaustion and absorption, and it will make life much easier for you. Okay, well, here's some absorption up here, okay, into this high liquidity here. Some of it pulled, but here's the transaction. So let's see if we get more buyers now, back up to 54. Okay, should. There we go. Now, there's our big transaction, and we're still finding more buying pressure. Okay, now look up here. Here's a bit of exhaustion. There's some sellers. Now I know this is on the micro scale, but unless I can find it on a more macro scale, I'll go over it. But this concept, you'll just see it again and again and again. All right, so anyway, we're getting a pullback now. Let's see if we get a low volume pullback or exhaustion down in here on that sell side. If we do, we looked for, this is where you can look for your trend continuation. Trying to keep it quite simple for you guys. Like we can just look at a trend line here. Okay, here's our exhaustion here. All right, here's our buyers up here. All right, let's look for these buyers I'm a little late. I'm a little late. And I don't want to buy. Now we're really, scalping in here for some ticks. But this is where I would be getting in. This is where I'd be taking some off and then see if we get a runner out of this or not. Stop would be at break even immediately. Okay, because we're on a low time frame. We have high liquidity right up here above us. Okay, so we're just looking for the test up to the top of the range and this liquidity, which we've gotten. Okay. All right. Anyway, I hope you guys hope it's clear. We're in this really kind of odd environment right now as Powell is speaking. Okay, so we're going to see some pretty big shifts. And one move up like this that looks all bullish can turn into a very bearish move immediately after. Okay, so just be aware of the environment that we're in. All right. Okay. Jakula, we used to connect to the Indian market. Yeah, I would reach out to support on that, support@bookmap.com. Okay, I'm not sure what the status is on that. Okay, we certainly connect to the U.S. markets if you want to trade them. All right. Okay, guys. Well, let's look into. We had requests to look at crypto. We had a request to look at gold. We'll start with crypto. Okay, Bitcoin, and see what's going on in here. Okay, I have $50 per tick in here. Yeah, here come the buyers, and looks pretty good. I'd look for buyers to reach back up to the 62,000 right here at the moment. I don't have a whole lot of data in here. We can add maybe a bit more. Actually, it looks like I cannot. All right, so yeah, we'll have to work with what we have here. Sorry about that. Okay, same concepts though, same ideas. Okay, so nice buying coming in here, looking for them to extend it. I like the big figure here. We know there's a lot of activity around the big figure, and that's kind of where we stopped up here. But we're seeing that buying interest. Okay, so I'm looking for buyers to trade up to 62. All right, so let's jump over to gold quickly. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more in here on gold. All right, we traded into high liquidity up here at 2360 and went further, slid through it here, but have come right back. We covered the flip of the order book in yesterday, and here's another example. It's a little less aggressive, but it nonetheless is a flip. And this is before the 10 o'clock news, which you can see, guys, like around this area in here, how is really a lot of liquidity has been pulled in here. Okay, because the market doesn't know what's going to happen, what Powell is going to say. But a flip of the book is an order flow phenomena that we have liquidity on the offer. It did transact here, and now what was resistance here is now support, or what was supply is now turned into demand at a higher level here. Okay, so that's the key. Now note that a lot of times the flip of the book happens at the same price level. So price usually kind of goes through and then retests the same price level, and you'll see the liquidity there on the bid at that same price level. So exactly at the same price level, what was supply is now demand. And you can see that this is why it's a little less aggressive. It's just down at a lower level here. Not much, but it is at a little bit lower level. Right, and you can see that that demand kind of pumped the gold back up into these levels here. Okay. Now, there might be deceptive or prohibitive practices from the CME Rule 575 regarding the flip of the book. What that looks like would be high liquidity in here that then pulls, never transacts. So this is more like a spoof, opposite of a spoof actually. You see the move through that level on high volume, and then they cap it on the other side. So they're looking to ignite stops above that area and then throw orders underneath it immediately, either at the same price level and sometimes at a higher price level. That would be a very aggressive order book flip, and that is prohibitive. Okay, it is illegal to do. But anyway, you can look up Rule 575 and get into it if you like. Let's see, what else have we seen in gold? Not much. I mean, it is bullish here. We did retest back down to this 55, 54 area here. We are seeing some buyers come in, but it's pretty muted right now. Here again is some exhaustion up here. Okay, so look at the buying and selling in here. A little bit more selling, a little bit of buying. Here's our exhaustion. And then you can see the sellers take it down here. Not a whole lot of sellers though, right? Now buyers coming right back to this area here. All right, it did auction up here before, looking for buyers to take it up to 58 and a half here, and they've already done it. Okay, they're reloading on the offer here. Seeing a bit of reaction off of that as well. All right, anyway, back up to the swing here. I imagine we're probably going to see some, I'm looking actually for a bit of trapped buying in here and for sellers to whip it away from this area here. Let's see if we get an exhaustion on this leg here. Okay, no, not really. In fact, it's kind of a, there's a little bit of selling. It's kind of a weak top here. You can tell by the profile. All right, now if we're looking for that to fail, well, then one of the ways to look at it is to, we can look maybe here. Now again, this is not a trade recommendation, and I am in demo paper trading simulated mode. Yeah, we're still getting buyers here. So I'm going to actually cancel it. But I started to see these sellers in here. Okay? And that was the idea, to maybe a bit of buying in here, but sellers to come back in and then move it through this area back down to where they initiated this move and this liquidity here at 56.70. Okay, but I still see that there's more buyers. The buyers are not done. Okay, so they're still taking it higher and looking for 23.60 now. All right. Well, we'll see. We get up here to a 23.60, and we'll see if we get some exhaustion up here. Good one is to find absorption into high liquidity, a pullback, a retest, and exhaustion. There's your double top, and it's a beautiful thing in order flow to see. Okay, just about to trade 60. All right. Well, anyway, let's jump back here to S&P. What's been going on there? Yeah, we read this here on the move down, and then buyer. There's still buyers. They're still coming in. Let's look at our higher time frame in here. So note how we were looking for a reaction up here, right? Well, we got it. Here's our wick to begin with, and then it continued on lower, and then it came back up, and now we're at highs again here for the day. Okay, so next stop is up here around this 62 or so. I'm going to put the stops and icebergs on. And we'll take CVD off. Boy, just not really seeing much today, that's for sure. Okay. I mean, we're bouncing around, quite a bit here. Yeah, and I'm sure this is due to Powell speaking. All right, let's take a look down here. Now, see, this is where we, well, the move actually initiated kind of down here, and when those buyers came in, we get a bit of a pullback, and then another extension, though, here, right? So I am looking for a reaction down here, okay, due to that little jag in here, this pullback, and then continuation. Okay, well, let's see if we can read it on the micro time frame in here. Okay, so we're looking for some buyers to maybe start come in here, and let's see if we get our exhaustion down here. No, we do not. We do not. Okay, we're still trending lower. Actually, exhaustion on the buy side right here. Continue lower. Okay, bit of buying up here now. Okay, so maybe we transition from. No, not yet. Still not ready. Okay, one more huge boop down here. Okay, so we did get a reaction here, but it is very muted right in here, as you guys can see. And we've just continued on lower here. All right, well, bids. Look at the bid get a little bit stronger in here, and we do see a little bit of buying. Okay, so this is low enough now that we see the auction here starting to show a little bit of interest on the bid. They're bidding here at a higher level. Okay, so that's a good sign. Okay, now there's just more selling pressure comes in and takes it lower here, but again, we know that we found some interest in here. Okay, so now we're just looking for the aggressors to come in as well. Okay, now for a reversal, one of the things that we look for, we've talked about this. I mean, we're not near a reversal yet. We're just still kind of eyeing some of the criteria for a reversal. Some of that criteria would be first technical levels on the higher time frame, and then high liquidity getting filled on the bid on the way down. And then what we're looking for is this trend to be broken, which it is. And then we're looking for now kind of maybe a shift in that trend. Okay, so maybe it's still making lower highs and lower lows, but we're starting to see like these pockets of buying coming in, and it kind of shifts into kind of not a steep downtrend, but a more shallow one. And then we look for liquidity at a higher level, which we're already seeing in here on the bid. And we're looking for these buyers to start to come in. Okay, and we do see them in here. Okay, but now look at the volume dots in size in reference to the volume dots over here. Now, Bookmap is showing these graphically in their size here. You can hover over them using the data tip tool and see how much exactly. Here 874 on that dot, 387 here. All right, so we're getting insight here there we go. There's still just more selling, quite a bit more selling. Now look at the bars down here. These are volume delta bars, and we're looking for that kind of shift in translation transition from sellers to buyers, and we don't see it yet. We just simply don't see it. Okay, there's just more sellers in here. Okay, so in terms of waiting for a reversal, well, we're not ready. In fact, we're still just downtrending. There's some exhaustion. Okay, and here's some buyers. All right, let's see if these buyers, maybe we can take a quick scalp. and look for these buyers just to take it up to here, okay, where these sellers initiated that move to the downside, and I'm in too late, right? You know, guys, I don't know if I want to take like these quick scalps in here. It might be better to, because if we see a bigger opportunity, then we'll look for it, instead of just kind of hyper scalping in here. It's not hyper scalping, but you know, you can see these small opportunities again and again, it's the same process we're looking at on a bigger time frame as well. Now here, this is looking a lot better. Okay, see the bid here at a higher level. This was where there was liquidity here at 42 basically. Now they're up here around 43, 44, and we're getting buyers. Getting interesting. Okay, well then buyers should be able to test the swing high here at 47. Okay, maybe they can break it and trade into this liquidity here. Now see how this is telegraphing us this move, okay? The behavior of the auction in here, okay? So we did test now the swing up here. We didn't test this liquidity yet though up here, but they're still on the bid. Okay, we got a little bit of a pullback, okay, and we see more buyers come in. This is where reversals get kind of tricky in my book, is that there is just so much more selling still. But look at the pocket of buying in here, and we have a really strong bid. Okay, but we know that there's potentially still a lot of selling pressure in here. Okay, we didn't break above the structure. We didn't break the structure here. Okay, so yeah, you know, looking for buyers to try to break it here, but this is where if we don't find enough buyers in here, it's very paltry buying in here. We see more sellers down here. They're just going to take it into these levels here. There's just more supply than there is demand. Okay, so we're seeing that right now. Okay, so actually a lot more sellers. Okay, sellers, then you should be able to take this down into 44, 43, and 42. Okay, let's see them just take on 44 here. No, not yet. All right, any more questions here I can get to? Nope. Interesting stuff. All right, so we broke down below the swing here on some heavy selling. I'm surprised we didn't trade into this 44 here. Okay, we still may, if we get some exhaustion up here and some selling. I don't think the sellers are done yet. I just don't see it yet here on the buy side. All right, we can try, give it a shot here. Okay, waiting for some, looking for some exhaustion up here, not looking for buyers. okay, to lift this. Looking for sellers on the bottom edge here. Now, we don't have a lot of criteria here for sellers to take us into it. Now we do. I mean, more, but that's what took us into the trade. Okay, we want to see that kind of lined up before we're getting involved into the trade. Else we have we might get squeezed here, and that's what the potential happens when we get more selling down here, and maybe we'll see on this retest here. Okay, if we see more sellers lined up or transacting down here, if we do, we should be able to get a move into that 44 and then a little bit lower in here. Okay, so here's some exhaustion here. Okay, so let's see if we can get more sellers here again at 45 and a half, and we're not. We're getting buyers back up here at the top. Okay, now we are. All right, so sellers should be able to drag it down 44, and let's see them get out. The buyers get out of the way on the bid. They are. Okay, this is very similar to something we did yesterday as well. We were kind of squinting at it a little bit, looking for this to unfold and continue to the downside here. And we'll see. This is still, we haven't made it yet out of the thick of it here. Yeah, in fact, we can see the buy. It's lined up for a potential squeeze in here, but let's see what happens here. If we start to see more buyers mount up here at this 46 and a half, we'll just exit. Okay, because we're looking for a squeeze one way or the other here. And we're putting our money here on this selling pressure, but they got kind of swept away up here, and there's a possible short squeeze. We need to see. It's still not clear yet. Yeah. Now, if this rejects up here and comes back in, I think we're good. I don't see a whole lot of buying up here. So let's see if they can, we'll give it one more shot here for sellers to come back down to about this 45 and 3/4, 45 and a half. If they don't, then it looks like we're just about to get taken out anyway. Yeah, see the stop run here? So that's some of the traders involved in here, and us included. Okay. So that might be enough, though, for a move right back down. Let's see. No, we're still getting buyers. Okay, so we're out. Okay, so we are getting our reversal, potential reversal here. Okay, now the reason that I stuck with the sell side in here is look at this point here, and we still might get the sell move. It is right here where we got involved, and then look at the volume though in this area over here. There's just more sellers. Okay, we're noting the pocket of buyers, and they can't make a higher high, and then we got our sellers here. That's where we're looking for them to take it down. We got some back and forth in here, and then we got squeezed to the upside here. Now this still might work here. We got a big stop run here, or a bit of a stop run. We need to see sellers back down below this buying in here, and then we can get that continuation move. Let's look for it. Okay, so we're looking at this buying in here. Is this a transition? Because at this point there was no buying transition, so that's why we're looking for sellers. Okay, here now we might start to see this transition take place. Okay, we broke the structure. We see high buy volume, and then we need to see them continue here. We need to see exhaustion on the sell side here. Okay, they are bidding up at a higher level. That's good. The book is good. here are sellers. Yeah, still they're still finding buyers at these higher little swings here. Let's jump back and we'll take a look at our bigger picture. Okay, where are we in the yeah, I mean, here, this isn't, so we retested back down to this 42 and a half in here. Well, if we see a kind of lack of buying back up here, this is a good area for on our 15-minute chart. Buyers got to press through here, 48 and a quarter here. They really do, to get back up into here in this zone. What was kind of support in here around where these two wicks are at 48 becomes resistance, right? But we're breaking through it. Okay, so yeah, we have that potential move back up into the zone, basically, into this previous trading zone here. Okay, now we did make a higher high here. Can we look at plug? Yeah, sure. We can take a look at plug. And also let's take a look back at our crypto and take a look at our crypto and our gold. What did gold do? Okay, not much. Gold traded up to that 60 level, but it's been really back and forth in here. Okay, a lot of liquidity on the offer here. 61, 63, 65. Okay. Note the shift here by sellers. Here's where the buyers broke out. Here's where the sellers shifted it away from this cluster of activity here. Now we need to see buyers break out above it, and they're starting to. So let's see if they can come up to the 60 and 61.20 here. Okay, and then 63. Crypto. Just back up to, we were actually looking for this move back up to here. 62,000, we got it, but it failed from there and came right back in the range. Let's look at plug, see what's going on. Yeah, cash open to move to the downside here, 930. Retest back up to this structure here, okay, by buyers, and you can see that it drifted off again. Okay, these moves and this market structure, this is why we cover it. Like, there's just no doubt about it. Like, this is how it works. The sellers moved it away from that area. Buyers come back and retest it here. Not enough buying pressure to get back up into this previous trading range up here. Look at the offer. Look at all that liquidity on the offer. Also here, 450. Okay, pushing price lower. Okay, so where are we going? Well, you can see pre-market here at 8 o'clock. There's liquidity here at 350 as well. So I would look for a move maybe down there and to see if we can find some buying interest at that point. Okay. Buying interest looks like it came in here around 8 o'clock and this move up around 309. Wow. S&P still kind of pushing higher. Here's our beautiful exhaustion here. Some sellers, lack of sellers, buyers. Okay, back to the swing. Really kind of an odd one in here. Do we see that transition really take place? I mean, we're starting to, at this point here, you can see the buy dots and then the bars in here. It's kind of an odd one though. Typically we see the transition happen kind of in a rounded bottom or a double bottom or an inverse head and shoulders or triple bottom or something like that. Okay, so in essence, this could be like a bear flag. You know, here's our move, impulse move, strong volume to the downside. This is just still flagging here. And then we can see maybe a turnaround and see buyer or sellers come back in. So I kind of like that idea that we're trading to 52.50 right now. And we'll see how it reacts up here into this liquidity. There we go. Okay, let's check it out here. There's our move into liquidity. Still finding buyers. So you guys can see the move here, and you know, these big candles as Powell speaking. So move to the upside, move to the downside, move back to the upside here. There's some exhaustion. Okay. Well, yeah, Brian, absolutely. Like it's really interesting to see like you know, from your dome and the order book in here, and uh, how we take it from the current order book in here and then record that all, so you can really read like these areas in here, and like how you can see these like shelves kind of broken, etc. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just fascinated by it still. And I've been, you know, with Bookmap for quite a while. And really understanding this dynamic in here. And I'm just surprised to see that we're still finding buyers at these higher levels here. This is where the selling came in. This is where we're retesting back up here to 55. And I am looking for, now also auction market theory guys, or your volume profile guys, kind of thinly traded up in here. Looking for some profit taking by buyers, looking for some sellers to start to come in. Okay, so we're looking for that now. Here's a bit. Yeah, again, kind of same idea. Here's strong trend, impulse move here, and then now looking for it to kind of curb and to kind of break off a bit. To kind of slow down a little bit and maybe and then maybe see a transition like this start to unfold. And then we might have the potential for the reversal. We guys like we are also I'm connected to it's now I'm in demo paper trading mode, but we will be releasing this shortly, so I do want to cover this here. You will need to add the trading statistics add-on here, and here you can open up the window and see all your transactions in here. But it's this trading journal here that I want to show. So you would open it up here, you'd click on this and sync with the trading journal, and then let's open that up. All right, so we can see our trading activity for today. All right, so yeah, here it is here, and let's take a look at current. Just look for the last couple of days in here, and leave it at that. So 13th to the 15th, or tomorrow. So this is our activity for today. Total wins, total losses. You can see that we're just up a little bit, basically. But last couple of days of action. All right, and we want to go back more. We can go back to last week's as well. And it's been kind of a rocky week. I had this really big loss in here at the end of the day, and caught up in was doing a lot of range bound trading. You can see all these little trades in here, and this tool has been really interesting to follow and start to understand. Like all these little scalps in here, small winners, but when I'd have a loss in here, now none of these actually, maybe very small losses, but the problem with this, this was testing a lot of different things. All right, so the problem with this is that our profit to loss ratio is really high, and we don't, that's kind of unrealistic. And then you can see, like, I get caught up in something and then you lose everything. You're back down to like zero. So it's better to take lots of small losses in here. And some of these things you can kind of learn and take away from the journal is what my point is. Yeah, I'm excited about this trading journal as well. It's really great. We have new journals that you can make in here. You can see I did this range bound journal, and you can also filter by instruments, the NQ or the ES. I didn't take any in the ES. Okay, so over the last week, we have all the trades that are in here as well. Okay, so you can really reflect off of this and gain a lot from your trading. Right? I mean, boy, you can just see it in here. If we go back. Oh, that's for the NQ, that's why. Oh, for that journal. Okay. Yeah, I mean all that little trading in here, like I said. Anyway, let's return back here, and we traded up to 55 here, and we're kind of looking for this slowdown and then the potential reversal again for sellers to come back in. Right, so like I said, kind of a tough environment here with Powell speaking, but you know, I am looking for some sellers to come in up here. If you can look at the volume profile, you can imagine in here up to this swing, there's a lot of volume up in here. There's not a whole lot of volume that's going to be trading up in here nor in here. So we're going to trade up to this area here. It does fit into the volume profile, as you can see in here. And then we're going to start to look for sellers trying to drive it back into the range. Okay, so just really haven't seen much today. A few scalps that we could have taken, but we're looking for something a little bit bigger. And any questions? Any questions over in YouTube? Let's take a look. No, nothing. Okay. Okay, Rob. Well, let's go through some criteria in here, trade criteria. Now, you know, we're looking for the potential sell side in here, but do we have criteria for that? Brian, go ahead. Any questions you have? Look at we're going to look at all of this in here. This liquidity, this context, the buyers, this price structure, which is bullish. Okay, do we have criteria in here for a sell trade idea? No, we don't. We know buyers are still in control here. Right? So it may unfold, but we just don't see it yet. We don't see the participants in here, in the structure and the liquidity and the volume. We don't see them telling us that yet. Okay, so, and here we got buyers back up to the top end or edge. Now, see how if we're looking for a short due to higher time frame, but the order flow is not telling us it's ready for something like that. Okay, they're bidding up here at a higher level. We're finding buyers up here, not finding many sellers. Okay, buyers should be able to reach back up to 55 here. Rob, does that you know make sense? Like, you know, I've been looking at the Bookmap Academy, some of the images in there recently, just today, and this seems to be an ongoing thing that we're you know, try to be objective here, really objective about it. Like, you know, reading this in here, are we going with the flow of buyers? If we buy in here, yeah, we are. Okay, we're just at too high of a level here to justify the risk. But we don't see that transition take place yet. So yeah, we're looking for buyers to take this higher still. And that's what we're reading in here. So this is, we don't want to short strength. We want to wait for some weakness to come in, some exhaustion, some selling to come in. Now we're starting to get some of that. Okay. Now on a smaller time frame, maybe you could justify something like that, but not on this time frame, not on this view right here. Absolutely not. Okay, there's no justification for going short here. It's just not. There's more strength in here. Okay, we're looking for riding along with those players that are telling us which way the market wants to go. Your checklist, awesome, Rob. Yep, I love it. Yep, exactly. So let's see here. You've got your own. Yep, you've got your own checklist there. This is the way to go, Rob. Keep doing this, and keep noticing and recording, like how to take your screenshots, mark them up for the academy, get some credit for it along the way, get some feedback as well. You've got your checklist there, and this is what's really going to help you, because now what you need to do is you need to trust your setup in here. Okay? And there's going to be losers. We had a loser here. Okay. Now, if I look back, did I do the right things or not? Okay. Well, I still see more sellers in here. I don't see buying strength. I just don't. I do see more sellers in here. Now we got the squeeze on, and that was actually the reversal in here. But I still just don't see it. Now, one thing we do have that is not, and this is really important. One of the criteria pieces I don't have in here is right in my face. What do you guys think it is? I mean, look at all that liquidity here on the bid. That has to evaporate. We need to see, like, not liquidity here. If this is going to be a spoof, at least it needs to pull. It kind of did pull here, but I want to see that offer show more. I do not want to. I want to see it be dark in here. I don't want to see high liquidity bidding at a higher level in here. Okay? And that's my fault. Okay, I should have had that criteria in here. I should know better. Okay, so and I took a full stop on that. Okay, one contract, but a full stop. Okay, and we'll look for the next setup and just take it. It may be a loser as well. We never know. But when we look at our criteria in here, we go through our checklist, it is more likely to work out than not. And over the long run, that's what we're looking for. And no different than your casino in that sense. Okay, here's some exhaustion. We should find some sellers here. Okay. Now on a smaller time frame, let's see, do we even have justification on a smaller time frame? No, not really. We just don't. I just see more buyers in here still. I just don't see I do see the exhaustion, but I just don't see the sellers in here. All right, let's see, Brian, you have a question. A few questions in here. For years, you've used cumulative volume delta in many different ways. Okay, on the 1 day and comparing back weeks to find commitment thresholds in Bookmap. I mean, if you want to look at your cumulative volume delta on your higher time frames, yeah, sure, no problem. I'm using Rhythmic here. I've got an ATR indicator down here. Let's see if can we add let's add it on the hourly here. Studies, overlays, cumulative volume delta. I don't know if it is in here or not. Volume delta probably. It's under that. No, No, I don't see it. I don't know. Maybe you guys know. I don't know. I don't see it. But so anyway, even on that lower time frame in here, we just weren't looking for we're looking for sellers, but they just didn't show up. We didn't have justification for that. Look what happened. Well, we got the breakout, okay, on the buy side. Yeah, Brian, one of the things that I want to kind of re-emphasize again and again in here, we can look at cumulative volume delta, but it's really kind of looking at it in a very opposite way by reading these three elements on the bookmap chart and then using your other indicators as a confluence only. Okay, so order flow rules the day, and then if you get added confluences, great. So here's your divergence right here, right? Do we find sellers coming in? Yeah, we're starting to. Okay, so now that where did we see the sellers come in? Well, here they are here, right below this little like cluster in here. Okay, so now the sellers coming in, they'll probably come back down and test down to here, and we're already there. Okay, but look for those sellers to start to mount here, and that can give you the insight. Okay, there's going to be divergence down here, it looks like, as well. Yeah, lower. Look at the kind of almost an equal low, not quite, but a higher high. What all this means is there's just more buyers here than there are sellers on the way down. That's it. Okay, so but is that enough? No. We want to see the order book support. We want to see support. We want to see this bid supporting it here, or if this is our idea and we want to see sellers continue, we want to look at that offer here, and we want to see more sellers at the lower end here, and then break down into high liquidity here. Now see how it's kind of dark in here? This is better. It's easier for sellers to move it into these lower levels now. Okay, there's divergence down here as well. Here we are. Okay, so more an equal low here, okay, but a higher low here. Okay, so if that's the case and we're trading divergence, then you got to look for the order flow shift and change in here. Okay, and I don't see it yet. Here's a little pocket of buying. I just see more sellers still. All right, let's go through this example here, what you're talking about, Brian. Example of cumulative volume delta at 100K. And then we see a wider multi-day chart. Yeah, no, I understand. You're lining them up from the higher time frame and the lower time frame. Yeah, sure. Let me show you another trick in here. I just don't have it on the higher time frame to really align it. Right, but I can show you this with cumulative volume delta in Bookmap. Now this comes with the Bookmap, all Bookmap versions. So you'll have this capability. So yeah, well, yeah, God, boy, guys, I don't know. Today's been kind of an odd day, and I do not really like trading during a speaker. We just don't know what he says or they say, and then what happens. It will show up in the order flow. There's no question. It has to. And we're trying to read it though. But you get these kind of big swings like this, and it's kind of a bit of a challenge. Here's again, look at our cumulative volume delta here. All right, well let's go for it, right? Okay, so we do have a bid. Okay, there we go. We're in. We do have a bid. Okay, we do have our divergence here. Okay, nice. All right, and we do have some buyers. Now it's not a whole lot of buyers though. Right, we can get crushed pretty easily here. But we do have a bid though. This is helping us. This 52.25 here, liquidity. And now let's see if they stay in the book and they transact, and we get a lack of sellers in here as well. Okay, because look at the bigger picture in here. We may have divergence, but who cares? Like, look at this criteria here of this buying versus this selling. Okay, there are still more sellers in here. Right, so now, and where are we looking for these buyers to try to take it? Well, that's a good question. Top of the range, top of this little range in here, or maybe back up into, I don't know, some of these transactions in high liquidity up here. All right, well, let's move our take profit to there at 55. Maybe a good idea. And then let's our support just went away. Okay, so not good either. Okay, so look, I hope this divergence play comes out, but this is where I'm not a big fan of it. We're looking at the divergence from this move on the way down, and it's clearly there. Okay, so now our buyers need to follow through, else this is just going to create, the CVD is going to crater to the downside, and we're in it. Okay, look at them open up here at 52. I don't like it. Yeah, bottom of the range and sellers. Okay. Okay, so now this needs to reject, and we need to find buyers come back in. And it's doing that. It is rejecting. Okay, and we are getting our buyers. Now, the buyers up here, top of the range, you need to break it. Okay, and come back up into high liquidity up in here. Okay, do not like it. Again, look at underneath here. See how dark it is? Okay, sellers can whip it down here pretty quickly. So we got to find our buyers here, else maybe we'll just scratch the trade. This is a good example here, I think, of criteria and this divergence in here, right? Our criteria it's not, we just don't see a whole lot of buyers in here yet. I mean, we got the divergence, yeah, sure, but in this little zone in here or range in here, we're not seeing it yet. And this is where, this divergence can really lead you astray here. At least it has me in the past. Yeah, I don't like it. So that's why I've kind of abandoned it and looked at just pure order flow. And then if I do get some sort of, additional insight with cumulative volume delta, great. Like here, we may get it. We may get it now. See how we traded back down here. We don't see sellers, and we're starting to see some buyers. Okay, we got to get back up above right here. This selling right here. If we do on size, on buy size, I think we got it. Okay. Again, guys, this is not a trade copying room. We're going over it's in demo paper trading mode. And no trade recommendations in here. Is understanding also what to do with this. We're kind of in a, do we feel stuck? Almost. We're not out of the, we really got to see buyers up in here, upend this. And if they don't, then yeah, we should just we should consider bailing. Right? We're not getting the criteria that we're looking for. Okay, this is kind of it's a little bit of hope in here, a little bit of luck. And the Bookmap Academy, guys, is not what we're looking for. if you got in here, then this would look better for content on the Academy, right in here, because this is what we're looking for. Buyers back up above here, right? But we decided to take this here because Brian's question about cumulative volume delta, and then to understand like how we can get kind of trapped in misleading information from maybe divergence in cumulative volume delta, right? And then we're going to go over like how we manage feeling uncomfortable in this trade. Okay, now it's going our way, right? But we'll see. We have gone up above. We need to accept above, and we need to see the next leg here. And so far so good. So far so good. Okay. Now I'm still going to leave this here as my take profit, and this is the high liquidity up in here that transacted. Okay, so I know that there's some sellers up here, and then you can see that was a pretty good idea. So we just traded into that level and we found sellers up here. Okay, let's see, can the buyers reattack? Yeah, it looks like it. Boy, what an odd day. They can. This liquidity is being pulled, and our limit is here. Okay, so our limit was here earlier, and we didn't get hit. We didn't get filled. You can see the little blue line in here. About halfway through, there's 80 orders still kind of in front of us there. Or I'm sorry, 100 and or 50, 58 or so, right? Okay, now it's trading again there. Now we got filled, right? So, and we're down like a tick for the day. All right, now I like it. I like the trade management in here. I'll be honest, because here's our measured move in here. We're just looking for that. We're only trading one contract. And here we go, right? Not bad as in terms of trade management. We're just hitting singles here, trying to get on base, or that's it. Hey, we're not doing any more. Yeah, you're welcome, Brian. All right. Look at the divergence continues in here. Okay, a lot of buying. You can look at divergence also, guys, in many different ways. It doesn't have to be just cumulative volume delta. Let's look at stops and maybe icebergs, but we'll just start with stops. Okay, so let's go through the same idea in here after a stop run. We'll have to look at this in hindsight, but maybe not. We can look at this here. We see a stop run here, retest back up, and we see another stop run. Now, what's the reference in here? Like how big of a stop run in it? They're not that big, but we see it. Okay, so now how many more stops did we hit up here? Okay, I mean, there is some divergence in here, but what I really like to see on this kind of divergence on a stop run or like a double top in here is stop run to the upside, retest back up here, no stops, and then just exhaustion on that buy side. Okay? That's a great insight, because it means that the market has cleared through this area. It did not accept up in here. Sellers brought it back down. Buyers tried again, and they're not hitting any stops or fuel to that fire to keep it moving upwards. At that point, that's when we're looking for sellers. And you'll see this a lot in the crypto markets as well. We have that liquidation indicator. And a lot of times you'll see that liquidation indicator do exactly what we're talking about as this kind of stops a divergence in here. Okay, so this is showing that it's not a good example, because we did hit stops up in here. We just didn't hit quite as many, and it does look divergent. I don't really like showing that as much of an example, but because it actually did follow through here. Well, here comes our sellers now, right? So, but it's this concept of understanding that the traders getting stopped out up in here, okay, the sellers coming back and not finding sellers, and then having it come back, it reject this breakout here, and then see the move back down. Okay, we got the rejection here. This is pretty good. This looks good here. See the range in here, and look where the selling picked up here. Okay, so the move down, not bad either, but when you look at selling pick up in the middle of this range in here, it will likely trade to the other side of the range, and then potentially through it. Okay, and beautiful stop run here to the downside. Let's see, there's other questions. Yeah, Sean, if you're getting chewed up, I mean, really, it look at the environment, and I hear you, and you know, we have I don't know if Powell's still speaking or not, but we have a speaker, right? We're going to get volatility and back and forth in here. That's not really, it's a hard environment unless you're really listening to what Powell is saying, and you know exactly what you're looking for, or from him to say, and then looking for the reaction of traders as well. Believe me, there's keywords, phrases that the market is just waiting to hear from these speakers, especially like a chairman. And once that unfolds, it gives insight, and you'll see the reaction of traders. All right, well, here we have actually a pretty nice potential reversal pattern. Note the transition here. Okay, up here we see buyers, and then look in this area in here, no buyers. Now we're getting sellers. Here's our head and shoulders. All right, so let's look for a measured move to unfold. So we're looking actually for, we'd be looking for the trading the continuation here, and we kind of missed some of it already, but impulse move, pullback, and now we're looking for another impulse move and the measured move. God, I hate missing these. Yeah, let's look for it. Okay, here's a pullback. All right. And let's see if we can get in. All right. So now in the measured move in here, let's see here. We're going with this range and this range down to here. Okay, looks good. Okay, how's our pullback move here looking? Not too great. We're seeing some buying coming in here. Okay, but we're looking at a markdown period in here, and more sellers. Okay, to reach high liquidity down here on the bid. Okay, so let's put our targets in as well. Okay, our measured move is down here. I like it. It kind of aligns with this high liquidity or high volume node. Someone's front running us a little bit here. Okay, so we might want to get in front of that. I don't know. No, they're pulling. They're pulling. Nice cluster of selling. And let's see if sellers can just take it a little bit further. I want just a bit more selling. And we cannot do it. I'm going to take the stop at break even here. Well, we might get it now. Buying here now, looking for the pressure here on the sell side to drive it through. Yeah, come on, sellers, right here at 48. And then the move. There we go. See it. Hitting our take profit, but just not getting filled. All right, guys. Well, the webinar is over. Our time is up. Let's. Well, there we go. We got stopped out at break even there. We gave it a shot. Anyway, we're looking for that measured move to unfold on this pullback in here. So a few different trade examples. Looking for the reversal pattern was starting to unfold here pretty nicely. Lots of buying. We look for that divergence up and traded it up, and then talked a lot about that. And then we looked for the mark down period in here, breaking the trend, looking for that transition, which we can see the transition actually starting to take place here. It's kind of odd. Usually head and shoulders, you see it take place here, right at the head, we just see that there's a lack of buying in here. We don't see the selling though, we really look for that in here, is that selling in here, but we don't get it until a little bit later, yeah, I was still kind of looking for those sellers to try to take it down further, anyway, that's what we're kind of looking for here in this pattern and this order flow transition. Okay, so we've traded back up to the top up here. We do see some exhaustion and we do see some more selling. In fact, you could probably get in on that one and then now look for the move back down to the bottom of this range here. So maybe it's transitioning from that trend to sideways action, and then maybe complete the measured move, and then maybe even get another reversal or just sideways action and continuation. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I think that's everything. Let's see if there's any more questions in here, and then we'll call it a day. You need to learn Fed speak. Or rainy days. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, sure. No, it's a pleasure, guys. You know, I try to be very objective about this. The more objective we are, and the more that it makes it so much easier for everybody. You know, there's going to be winners, there's going to be losers. But the more objective you are about it, and we miss a lot of little opportunities, even this here, like should be in it. And because I am looking for this to continue here. This is our exhaustion here on this trend to the downside, right? So we should get follow through here. Likely high volume node down here, or maybe follow through that area as well. And here we go. You know, here's our move. And here's our exhaustion here at the top of this range. But anyway, the more objective we are in understanding these three elements of the price structure, the volume or transactions within that price structure, and the liquidity within that price structure. This is it over and over and over again. All these patterns like head and shoulders or continuation or flag can all be explained due to the order flow and transactions that take place. It just has to be. You know, I hate to say something like that, but you know, even in the most volatile periods, it just has to be. There's no way around it. Like this is what moves the market, and we have to understand that dynamic. If all of a sudden a larger player comes in and just moves the market quickly away, well, we'll see it. It's hard to, you know, maybe trade that, but you will see it. So what we're trying to do is align what we see through our experience, through reading this in here, putting these pieces together, and then looking for the follow through. And it doesn't always happen, but for the majority of the time it does. Right? So anyway, thanks DK, really appreciate it. Guys, if you like this, please hit that like button. And that always helps us out. Subscribe to the channel. Come to our Discord channel. And if you guys really like it, like I would recommend this. Come to bookmap.com, the more button here, and go to Bookmap Academy, and then sign up here. And I can show you our Bookmap Academy chat room in here. It's pretty lively, and it's great stuff. Oh, he's finished speaking. Thanks, Alan. So now we'll see the market move. But the Bookmap Academy room here, you get to it here. Really, you guys are doing some really great work. All right, and learning from each other in here. It's a mentoring and coaching program. It's free. You just need to have Bookmap. That's all. And here we go, Bookmap Academy. And then here, CMJ, Alan, I saw you posted a bunch in here. Looks great. Alan's got really nice, he's got momentum down, which is awesome, Alan. I love it. Yeah, we got Crash, F16, and Dune Runner's been making some nice stuff here today. Dune Runner, Robbed, also really nice stuff. Yeah, Crash again. All right, so anyway, yeah, continue with the discussion there. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming, everybody. And we'll catch up with you on Friday, because tomorrow we have JTrader with stocks at this time. If you like trading your stocks, that's the place to go. And then Scott Pulcini, a futures trader, that is, if you don't know who he is, you can look his name up, and he's got a tremendous amount of trading experience and lots to learn from there. So yeah, thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll catch up on Friday. Bye bye.